What's up, fantasy people? Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone had a good Monday. DFS. That was a good evening of play last night on the bigger slate. I hope you were following on Twitter. I had some modifications to the lineup with putting in Bogdanovic that I didn't mention in the video, in the early video that I did for yesterday, and also switching out for Shabazz Napier who started, and going up to Harden, which all three together helped me cash last night a little over 300, 301 on the lineup. The cash line was right around 280, so it's always nice to be able to go to sleep knowing that you're good to go and not worrying about it till the late games. So that was a good night. We got another 8-game slate this evening. A little bit different, a lot different than it was last night. But before we get into that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get the alerts on new content that I drop. Thumbs up is always appreciated on the video. Hopefully picks are helping. The picks last night were right on, so we're hitting another streak. I think this is 4 in a row, cashing on these picks for the core. So good things going forward. Tonight it looks fairly clear, but definitely follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the DFS Picks, so that if there are any updates like there were yesterday that would help with injury news and things like that, and pivots to other players, more value, all that jazz, that you get that and make the updates accordingly. So getting into tonight, the biggest thing tonight that we see is a lot of projected blowouts. So 1, 2, 3 double-digit lines on the games this evening. Atlanta, Toronto, and New York, Golden State, 14.5 and 17.5. The home team looking like they're gonna blow out in both cases. So right now I'm staying away from those as far as making picks go. Things could obviously change going through the evening tonight. I'm waiting on the over-under. I just pulled up the lines as of like 20 minutes ago. The Washington-Philly line wasn't up, so now it's Philly by 9. I'm a big Wizards fan, but I'm thinking blowout in this one. I think Philly takes it, but I also said that about OKC, and I was completely wrong in the other direction. And Washington blew out OKC at home, but Wizards just don't play well on the road. But they took it to the Thunder 2 days ago, so we'll see on that. I'm hesitant. I like Embiid in that matchup, but I want to make sure that he plays his full share of minutes so that he can get full value, because I don't think they're blowing him out. Odds are they get blown out by halftime, and Embiid doesn't get his share of minutes. But we'll see on that. I want to wait and see the over-under on that one as well before I make any decisions. So I'm going to stay away from that game for these purposes for the core, and then I'll tweet out if that changes at all through the day. So let's get to the picks. So first, we're going to go to start at point guard. And go back, actually, the games that I'm looking at really right now are the Charlotte-LA game and the Minnesota-OKC game until I get other news. The Sacramento-Phoenix game also, actually. I like Phoenix in that matchup and the pace up. So I'm assuming that's going to be a high-scoring game. 228, 230 on the over-under, and fairly close. Under 6, I would think, for the line. So I'm just projecting that, but we'll see when those lines come up. But saying that, going over to the picks, we'll first go to the Anthony Melton. So if you look at his game log, he's been playing better, much better than when he was first installed into the starting lineup. At the price tag of $4,100, he's hit cash value in 4 of the last 5. Now his price has gone up, but if you're putting him into cash games, he's pretty safe. His minutes are pretty safe, even in blowouts like the Golden State game. He still played 27 minutes. It should be a close game, so that blowout shouldn't be a concern. But his minutes are pretty safe. In a closer game, he's going to play more minutes. as long as he's shooting okay and he's distributing the ball all right. Not huge upside. I mean, the most his ceiling is probably 25, 26, but his floor is pretty high too with all the minutes that he's going to get. So I'm going to lock him in at that spot. At small forward, we're going to go with Bojan Bogdanovic. So we went with Bogdan yesterday. The other Bogdanovic is in a really good spot against Cleveland. Cleveland gives it up to the 3 spot at the forward spot. So I really like what he's been doing for cash games. He is solid. He fell into my lap and fit into my lineup perfectly against Toronto, and he was in a decent spot. He's in a better spot now. Cleveland plays a little slow, which is a little bit of a concern to me. They are, I think, third last in pace, but even so, Bogdanovic is pretty safe as far as a floor for cash games. So that's what I play primarily is cash. I'm going to play probably all cash tonight. And I mean, if you look at his game log, he's safe. He needs 28 to hit cash value, and he's done that just about every game going back, or just close to that. But he does have some upside in this matchup with how Cleveland plays. Hood is going to be out. Osman should start in his place, so Bojan should have a good time. I'm expecting around 30, 32, and getting close to 6x, but that floor is what really drives me for Bojan this in cash games. Right now, with the next pick, I really like Towns in this matchup. Not necessarily the matchup. The matchup isn't that great, but he's been playing so well lately that it's almost like a Harden case. If I could get his game log to pop up, that even in matchups that aren't great for him, he's been playing really well. Now his price is up to 10.5. It was under 10, and that's really where I'm comfortable playing him at. But if his game log would just pop up, that would be awesome. Internet's just not working right now. Here we go. So minimum 52 in 2, 4, 6, 7 last 7 games, and they're going to be without Covington. They're going to be without, I believe, Derrick Rose for one more game. He's out. He's inactive. He'll come back on Friday. So a lot more usage for Towns. I would love it if Teague was out, but obviously he's playing. He had a great game last against the Lakers. But so if you take into account his floor, it's a decent matchup. Now it is on the road, which I don't like. He's better at home. But for now, until we get news from the Washington Philly game and the Sacramento Phoenix game, so I'm also looking at Embiid and Ayton for the center spot. Right now, that's who I'm looking at. And price tag at 10.5. So the last one, there are a couple different pieces of the Charlotte game that I'm looking at on the Charlotte side. First would be at power forward, Marvin Williams. So if you look at his game log, solid in the last 3 out of the last 5, he's hit GPP value. Now I'm looking at him for cash games. He's definitely a play for GPP. Good matchup against Clippers team that doesn't do well against bigger guys. Williams has been playing well, and the 2 games that he didn't really hit value, there were 2 blowouts, so he didn't get his minutes. You see 22 and 24. If you look at a kind of a point per minute basis, it's still pretty good. So if he gets his full complementary minutes, in the mid 30s, somewhere around there where he's used to playing, he hits value and then some. Lamb is questionable. I love him without Lamb. He's still playable with Lamb in there, but Zeller's out, so that helps his usage too. And but if Lamb is out, he's almost a lock for me. But the other 2 pieces of this game that I really like at the center position, and it's really one or the other. You can use it as your utility. Are going to be Biombo and Hernan Gomez. Biombo got the start last game. Now his price tag is up to 4,500, which is not great. It's going to depend on who starts this game, but like I said, the Clippers not good against big men. So whoever starts and gets the minutes, it's kind of a pick 'em, because if you look at the last one, so 21 minutes for Biombo and 24 minutes for Hernan Gomez, but Hernan Gomez played a lot better, and they're about the same price tag. So it's kind of a pick 'em. It should be, both should hit value regardless. I mean, I definitely wouldn't play both of them, but if you go with Williams, the benefit is it doesn't hit. Biombo. Comparing him to the wrong guy, but both will take up a center spot. But that's okay, as long as we're not going up to hit two centers like Embiid, Ayton, or Towns, Embiid, or something like that. It's fine. So it'll depend on roster construction. But I'm looking at more of Marvin Williams right now. So we'll just plug him in and look at what we have left. So a lot left, even with Towns in there, still have a little over $6,000 per position for the rest of the 4 spots. So a lot of money to play with, and odds are there's going to be value coming out. If Lamb's out, you can plug in Graham, who's done fairly well in the last 3 games, more the last couple of games that weren't blowouts. But we can, if you take a look at the rest of Embiid's playing, so I'm looking at that. Westbrook and George are playing as well. Durant, I'm not really looking at him or Curry because the blowout factor could be over early, especially with Curry. They like to sit him early as well. Toronto, Atlanta, Kawhi's in a great spot, but again, blowout, could be over early. Beal, not in the best spot, but he's running that team. Kemba's had a bad few games, so I'm not really looking at him. Booker, questionable. So if Booker's out, I'm assuming he plays, but if Booker's out, there could be some value. He left the Charlotte game early, I think back spasms. But if he's out, whoever hops in his place is going to be a value. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. But it goes down from there. I really like Lowry, but again, the blowout factor. He played well against Indy the other day. He's priced up, but in a really good matchup. And Atlanta, you've seen it with Atlanta before, where they go on the road and they're slated to be blown out, but they keep it close. So it's definitely possible that they keep it close for 2 or 3 quarters and then get blown out in the 4th, which would be fine because that would give the starters there just about what they're used to in minutes. So, and it just kind of goes down from there. But yeah, those are the picks. Main 4, $6,000 left over. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram for updates during the day at the DFS Picks. If you want some free money on the DFS sites, FanDuel, Fantasy Draft, and DraftKings, go down to the descriptions, hit the link for each one or all of those, and you get free money and free interest into contests. So if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments or shoot me a message on Twitter or Instagram, and I will get back to you. All right. Have a good day, guys.